Hello, my name is Crystal Lee, and this is my YouTube video on Martin Delaney. I will say first that I felt this to be a hard read. A lot of it was really wordy, and I found it, I found myself saying, get to the point. But I will say that Delaney's argument of the inability for equality and elevation for the black man, and especially for the freed black man, I could understand his argument. I did not agree with his stance, though I did understand the only way to get that equality, while yes, majority blacks had to become the majority in a society, I understand that, but leaving where you are, in the sense, or leaving the United States, I do not agree with. I'm not packing up and leaving for nobody. I'm just letting you know. But at the same time, I do believe in that time where, you know, the whole premise of things were to get from the South to the free North. And then for those who were able to escape and do that, or for even the free slave that went up north for a better life to support their families, to only find that they still didn't have the equality that they thought would be there, or the freedom that they thought was awaiting for them in this free state. I do understand the perspective of it's not here, it's not there, it's not going to be anywhere here for us. So I do understand it, and I do believe that his argument was effective in the sense of it's sad, but we still see it today. We're still fighting for the same thing. We're still fighting for equality. We're still fighting for the chance to better our families, and we're and not only the chance, but the equal chance. In the later part of his writing, when he discussed, you know, the families, and how, you know, you have a white family that bore children, and they were afforded the opportunity to go to school or become a doctor or a nurse or a teacher, and then you look at the black family, freed or otherwise, not being afforded the same opportunities. And even when they were positioned in jobs, it was subservient jobs, jobs like being the maid or the house nurse or the wet nurse, or you know, you could be you could work in the farm, but you know, even if the portion that I saw where if you know, you went to school to be a doctor, but then if you did that, you had to practice elsewhere. There was no equality. And I think that is what his argument was mainly about, is the inability to have equal rights in a place where there should have been, in a place where, you know, it was promised. And I think it frustrated him. I think it frustrates blacks to today. And I think that this argument is continuous. Again, packing up, leaving this free world, I'm guessing, the United States, America, and running to another country, I'm sure still did not lend itself to the advantages that blacks should have been afforded, or that whites were afforded, simply because of the color of their skin, or because they knew. We would call Martin Delaney a surefire Jamaican, because he had more jobs and held more positions. But I think overall, again, was his argument effective? Yes and no, because in order to leave, you had to have the means to leave. And even to the freed, well, where were they going to get the money? And then they were going to leave their families. So while the argument of the majority coming together, that I do agree with, but I think in a sense it was just continuous giving up in that sense of, yeah, you have to fight, and regardless of wherever you go, you're going to have to fight, whether it's, the whites or, if you go to Canada, it was still going to be a fight for equal rights. And so, I guess I'm torn in the leaving portion of that being the only way that equality and the elevation of Black families was going to be pursued. So I guess I'm kind of torn between yes, I agree, and no, I don't agree. But I do believe his points are still valid. And I had to pull up some other references to get a clearer understanding, because, again, I said that his writing was really wordy to me. And just to understand that this was just a free Black man that just wanted to be able to take care of his family, that wanted the equal opportunities that everyone else was afforded, that every white person was afforded. And that argument is always going to be effective. That argument is always going to be agreed upon, that Blacks are then and now should be afforded the same opportunities, the same jobs. I should be able to hold the same important job that a white man or a white woman held. And I should not be prohibited for holding that position, or prohibited from elevating my family. So that's my stance.